What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Ryan Aranda here, my best life Paraguay. And today we're going to just start out the footage with a little bit of a grill out footage from Asado, footage from when back in March at my old place in my old duplex. And yeah, so give my puppy his little 15 seconds of fame here, and yeah, just have a little bit of so I can put this footage out, but there's not enough for a full video, right? Okay, so yeah, so the main topic today is going to be top 12 cultural differences in Paraguay. Right before that, we're going to check out footage from the Marco Antonio Solis concert. He's very, very famous Mexican artist, and I believe he was part of the band Los Duki, or I believe, and he's El Duki, right? And yeah, so we went checked it out with Aaron and Simon and Polo, his pops on the far left here. It was a great night. Did a lot of dancing, but me and Aaron and Polo behaved, right? Because at the in the moment I had my girl. She couldn't make it to the concert, but it's all good. She ain't my girl no more. But at the time, so I wasn't looking for no drums, right? I didn't want no Coldplay kind of moment. You know what I mean? And yeah, so anyways, so here is the map of where Jockey Club is, and Jockey Club would be the equivalent of uh, like a golf club, right? Pretty much. But it's the racetrack, and I believe it's yeah for horse racing, but also I believe for athletics, human track and field kind of thing. So yeah, so there will be a photo popping up of what the area looks like when it's not in concert mode, and then also a couple photos of SNT building. I believe it is. Yes. So this is the Hipódromo de Asunción, which is the racetrack, right? And yes, and then so right off to the right there, if you saw on the map, is our sports facility that's used for professional volleyball and basketball, and also indoor concerts as well, as you'll see. Um, so yeah, and then before, uh, okay, so right before I get into the topic, just want to mention that the footage that's going to pop up here in a moment is going to be us starting to walk towards the concert area from the street because they had it blocked off for street vendors to sell food and whatnot, and also for drinks or whatnot if you wanted stuff going in, and then they're also stay there for when you're leaving the concert. We had some asadito skewers, steak skewers, right? Um, and yeah, it was a great time. And inside the fair or the concert area, you can get beers and stuff. I don't remember if they had food or not, but yeah, they had beer stands everywhere in the back where we were hanging out, drinking beer, dancing, having a great time. You know what I mean? And so yeah, so you'll see footage of that before we go through security, and then eventually to the concert. That's what's going to be happening on screen here. But let's get right into the topic here. And that topic is, like I mentioned, the top 12 cultural differences in Paraguay, right? And so I'm going to start out number 12 being Bolt and Uber etiquette, right? So rideshare etiquette, rideshare app etiquette, right? Um, Number one is within this topic, right? Is buckle up because you could hit speed bump lomadas on the street, right? And you don't want to go flying when you're in the back in case your driver doesn't see it. And you don't want to like hit your head on the ceiling because there's a lot of little cars here, right? They don't have the tall ceilings of most of cars that Americans would buy, right? So, anyways, also try not to slam the door. Latin Americans can be sensitive about that, right? Their car is their everything, it's their investment. So just try not to slam the door going in and out, right? Um, and yeah, okay, sorry, I'm losing my place here. Also, don't flash cash or count cash. Right, pretty simple to understand why. You don't want them looking in the rear view mirror and seeing like you're just loaded. Like if you're going like to or from a bank, something like that. Also, just be careful if you have an iPhone, um, because some of uh, the what do we call them? The window washers right on the street. Some of them are mostly like living on the street, or not, maybe not most, but it's a lot, quite a few of them. So they may try to pretend they're a window washer, but actually try to stick in their hand in and like try to like steal your phone or something if you're not paying attention. I always like to put it in my pocket or under my thigh, right when I'm not using it. And also, it really helps to have one of those like loops around that you can put over your hand. Just as one extra layer of of defense, right? Um, so hopefully they're not grabbing your phone and getting away. Um, yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it I have for kind of the whole Bolt and Uber situation. Bolt is an app. I forgot to mention that. Those are the two main apps for down here to try to get a ride, and they're really cheap, right? To go a few kilometers, it's like $1. You know what I mean? $1.50, maybe $2. Okay, and I guess busy times you can go up to like three, four, really depending. Okay, and number 11 would be general driving etiquette on the road, right? So just recognizing things, or if you're driving, right? Number one is tailgating is pretty common here, right? They're not necessarily trying to start a fight or anything, but it's just people tailgate like crazy here. They go right on your bumper, right? Also, motorbikes are crazy, and look both ways before getting on and off of a bus. Because they could like try to like uh, or not try to, but accidentally like hit you because they're always swerving around cars and stuff. Anyways, you guys get the point. Also, using high beam lights to communicate, meaning that they'll flash them. So if you both end up at a stop sign or crossroads where there is no stop sign, people will flash their lights, saying that it's your turn. You can go first, right? So that's what that means if you recognize that, or you can practice that yourself. Okay, and next would be road rage is rare, but general insults are common, right? Um, and yeah, uh, there's one comment, but I was gonna tell you guys about it, but I don't want y'all like repeating it because it's in Guarani. But I'm really decided to not. Maybe in a different video, I'll tell y'all. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, and then I already mentioned window washers also. Um, so stay with change because sometimes if you don't want them to wash your window, uh, you can just like wave your finger and be like gracias, like no thank you, thank you but no thank you, technically. So yeah, and also like I said, some of them are like truly homeless. So some of them could be thieves. Most of them are harmless, right? But there's could be some of them that are thieves and might try to reach in and grab something that they think is valuable. Okay. Very lastly, peatones, which are toll booths, are from department to department, which are like the equivalent of our states down here. In particular, you're going to hit a toll booth if you're trying to go to the beautiful town of San Bernardino, which is on the lake Ipacaraí, right? So that's going to be a few dollars. So again, just have a little cash or change on you for these things on the road, right? Okay. And number 10 would be greetings, right? The most common for man to man is a look in the eye and a firm handshake, right? Very similar to the West. And for man to woman, it would be air kiss, right? From right to left, cheek to cheek, right? It's a very just a very slight touch, cheek to cheek. Um, we do both sides. There's some Latin American countries that'll only do one side, right? But we do two sides, right? Um, one second. Okay. Uh, yeah. So, yeah, pretty self-explanatory. And the only thing I'll mention on top of that is like professional situations. If you're meeting a woman in a professional situation, that's where you're still going to shake hands. If you come to form a relationship over time, then you can uh, feel it out and see if you greet in that way, cheek to cheek, right? Um, but yeah, but otherwise, like in colloquial, is that the word? But in common day to day, friends, meeting people, family will do again, man to woman, the cheek to cheek greeting. Okay, and so number nine would be there's two parts to this now. Que Dios te bendiga, meaning that may God bless you. Okay. The first part of this is just in general, like when maybe you spent some time together, and then it's more common that like an aunt or uh, a middle-aged woman or elderly woman, maybe your grandma or something, will like bless you goodbye, que Dios te bendiga, right? But the other part of it is very small children will also put their hands in a prayer form, right, as if they're praying, and they'll go up to uh, their elders, right? Whether you're an uncle, an aunt, a grandmother, grandfather, um, and they'll just do that silently, and then you will, as the adult, bless them. Que Dios te bendiga. May God bless you. Right, and other Latin American countries have their versions of this. The Mexicans, not all Mexicans, but at least I know that one, the kid or the adult will put their hand up to the kid's forehead and do the same kind of like blessing, right? So different Latin American countries have different versions of that, but ours is again the small kid will come up to you with prayer hands and then you bless them, right? So it's actually really cute, and it's a tradition that is not as common as it used to be. But my family says that we like to continue it, and we're gonna try to our best to continue that out of respect, right? It's for having respect for the older people in your family, right? Um, yeah. So uh, number eight would be saying hi to neighbors. Okay, so saying hi to neighbors, you can say hola, right? But if you're just passing by a house, right, or buen dia, hola, mbay shepa is Guarani, is hello, good day, how are you? Or it's the equivalent of like que tal, I think. Anyways, it's the greeting, the main greeting. Mbay shepa is or like hello, good day, yeah. Um, and or imbateko, yeah, I believe is the other version of like good day, right? Um, so those are two Guarani in case you hear those or want to practice those and pronounce it better than I just did, right? But if you're passing by neighbors on this and they're sitting on their patio, which is extremely common in Paraguay, you actually say adios, and it's very odd here in Paraguay that we do that because we're literally it's kind of like saying like hello and goodbye without saying the hello and part, but still inferring that like hello and goodbye, like but instead of saying the full phrase, just say goodbye. But it kind of, at least in my mind, that's kind of what it means, right? When you pass by your neighbor and say adios, 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 right? Okay, so number where are we at? Number seven would be use of permiso. So the two most common occurrences of when you're going to use permiso in Spanish here is when you're entering somebody's home, and you'll be like at the doorway or at their patio and be like permiso, like may I, right? And they'll be like yeah, adelante, right? Or you can practice that yourself if people come to your home, your apartment, and you say and they say permiso, and you can say adelante, right? Um, yeah. And then the other occasion where you're going to use this is when you're getting in and out of an Uber, right, or a Bolt, and when you open the door, permiso, like may I take a seat? Obviously they'll say yes, like see, adelante, or yeah, sentate. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So permiso. That's two most common. I'm trying to think if there's any other, but those are the two most common times when you either hear that or you can practice saying it yourself. Okay. And it's just a courtesy thing, right? Um, Number six is staring, right? So Latin Americans, but specifically Paraguayans, stare, and they'll stare for a while, right? And it may make you feel uncomfortable, but people just stare more here, and it's not out of like uh, trying to do something bad to you or anything. It's just people are just curious, and it's just people don't have that getting uncomfortable sense like we do as Westerners here in Latin America. So people will certainly stare, right? So again, don't think it's immediately like oh they hate me or what's wrong with me or or something like that. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Number five is personal space. So Latin America, we physically, our personal bubbles are way smaller, right? So you're talking to somebody, it could be way closer than normally you would talk to somebody in America, right? And also just like at grocery stores, like when people wait in line, you're really like shoulder to shoulder. Sometimes it feels like, and even when you're like checking out, uh, instances where you barely paid yet, but they like the next person already has all their groceries like on you, and you have to like reach over them to like pay. And so yeah, it's efficient, but it's kind of for Westerners who get really uncomfortable with like people in your personal space, you gotta get adapted to that because people's personal space here is not like the West or where our personal bubble is bigger. Okay. Um, yeah, and then so where it is number five. So number four, dress to impress culture. And so, yeah, your average Paraguayan who is in a professional setting, going to an office for that kind of job, they're most likely going to be suit and tie, or in general a little bit more dressed up than your average American will be going to the office. Back, decades and even generations ago, I think the standard suit and tie was a standard in America as well, as it is in Paraguay, still kind of holding on to that. But yeah, you guys know what I mean. And for the ladies, it's certainly also very uh, dressed up for the job, but just in also you know normal casual life, you will see more sundresses in the street, and more kind of that normal feminine Latin culture look as well. Now, number three would be that people drink from the same glass or cup or gourd, right? So, for example, I'm drinking, you can see here, uh, terere, which is the ice cold version of drinking mate or yerba, right? And so if I was with people, I would be the filler up, and I would pass this around. And then there's one person who was like technically like the server or whatever of the thermo where you're gonna keep filling up the water in the cup here, and then you're gonna pass it to people, and they're gonna pass it back to you. But you're all drinking from the same thing, right? And the same goes for a lot of people when they're drinking beer, right? They'll drink from the same glass. It's just a cultural thing. In the U.S., we all have our own glasses, right? Now you can choose to participate in that, or you can choose to not. But again, the most common thing that you're going to drink together, most likely with the local, is going to be tea, or is going to be yerba mate, right? And you can get your own glass for things like beer if you feel uncomfortable, or other drinks as well. But that's just how we do here, right? Okay, and yeah, so that's that, and huh. Okay, sorry, I'm losing myself in the notes here. Okay, so number two. Um, Wait, where? What? Sorry. No, number two is asados, right? The asado is our version of grill outs. Okay. And as we're wrapping up on the screen here, just want to say how much I had fun before I get back into the subject and end this really quick here. This was a great time, man. And, as an event, I never went to concerts in the U.S. I hated going to concerts in the U.S. Right? There could be a lot of drama and people fighting, and I don't know. I just didn't vibe with going to concerts in the U.S. Like here was really fun. Girls dance. They're not shy about stuff. Um, Also, just better vibes in general. Like people know how to behave in Latin America, and it's really impressive actually, right? Because I feel like anytime I've ever went to anything like this in the states, there's always some issue, right? But not here, right? And it's fun, man. And it's cultural and it's Latin dancing. Like going to big concerts and like Latin dancing and having an open space and cheap beers in the back, and your ticket was only $20 to get in. Like, come on, man, that's a great time, you know. Okay, so sorry for that tangent, but it was a great time, and you can check it again on the maps here as they're popping up where we were at. Okay, but yeah, to close out the topic here, yeah, so asados, they're kind of a go-to thing that people will invite you to, right? And it's out of respect for sure, and like you could be if you talk to a lot of locals, be invited to like 3 to 4 asados or something like that. And people can say, it's very common for people to kind of volunteer your place as well. Like if you have a grill, like, oh, I'll bring over some meat so we can grill out, right? And I don't always like to do that because it's just a big process and clean up and all that. But it's out of respect, when they invite you to their place or they offer to bring meat or charcoal or whatever you need to do a grill out. And they're pretty awesome, right? They're just like a dedication to time kind of thing, right? And an event in itself. What we started off the video with here. Okay. And lastly, number one, ironically, are long goodbyes, right? Like I always do in my videos. It's very Paraguayan of me. So like, if you really got to be somewhere, but you're at like a family event, it's common to like kind of like say bye to everybody, or at least, very least, do a wave and like make sure like everybody sees you, like, oh, like I'm leaving, right? Instead of just just leaving without anybody knowing, right? Kind of make it known, like, okay, I'll see y'all later. Till the next time. Nos vemos. Kind of thing, right? And then if your tia comes through, and she has a lot to say, type thing, like your aunt, and she has a lot to say. Like sometimes some goodbyes could take like 30 minutes up to an hour, and it could be a whole conversation in itself. Like I've had that happen many times, right? And despedidas and goodbyes, just like this video, right? Okay, I'm gonna close this out. Yeah, hopefully you guys learned a few things and enjoyed some footage here of the concert. Hopefully it wasn't too many flashing lights for you. Again, I'm Ryan Aranda, my best life Paraguay, and yeah, it's pretty much it, you guys. And I'll see y'all in the next one here. And for the meantime, you guys can keep hitting me up for consultations, all that good stuff. And yeah, hopefully I can. There should be some good changes and things coming in the future too for this channel. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, and share. Also, comment below anything, you guys. Commenting really helps out a lot, especially when you like, man, and comment. That helps out the channel a ton. So please, please, please keep doing that. Keep sharing with folks too if any of my videos help you out. And yeah, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.